watching and welcome to another video. Today we're driving a 1978 Ferrari 308 GTB. So it's a carbureted car. They went to fuel injection in 1980 and the later cars were fuel injected. More drivable and more reliable, but I feel like the carbureted cars are more visceral and analog and just offer more to, you know, the driver. So I want to say thanks to Caribou Engineering and the owner for letting me borrow the car. I know this is the fourth 308 that I've covered on the channel, but I'm not going to apologize for covering another Ferrari because these are always fantastic cars. And these 308s are really great cars. I mean, they're not overly expensive, and yet driving it around, you get people just absolutely love the car, and driving it, you can't help but smile and love the way it drives. So this has a 90-degree V8, about 240 horsepower. It's a 4-cam engine, 240 horsepower, and about 195 foot-pounds of torque. And the car weighs around 2,500 pounds, maybe a little bit less than that. So it's not that heavy. It's got really good performance. The mid-range, from like 3,500 on up, from the torque is actually really strong. It's definitely, it's not a fast car, but it's quick and responsive and extremely engaging. And then, of course, you know, peak horsepower comes in at over 7,000 RPM, but luckily the engine's a rever, and it just lives for anything above 4,000 RPM. This car is just absolutely blast to drive. It is really, really fun to drive and very engaging. Italian V8s, you know, they're nothing like American V8s. They're much more high-strung, and this obviously is no exception. It really lives for revs above 4,000 or 5,000 RPM. Revs all the way to redline, 7,500 RPM, no problem. And sounds absolutely terrific. I love the carved cars because they have this really awesome sounding intake snort from the carburetors. It makes this little burbly intake noise and just adds a lot to the driving experience of the car. And the exhaust is stock in this car, but it sounds really good. It's got a really nice growl to it. It sounds really great on diesel. It burbles and pops and makes these great, you know, terrific sounding noises. This was the original burble tune, right? It's like an analog burble tune. And then typical for cars, you know, from this era, you can hear a little bit of timing chain noise and valve train noise, so, you know, the transmission whines a little bit, and just all adds up to a really terrific sounding engine, and very responsive. The steering, kind of an acquired taste. It's very direct, and the car is actually pretty pointy. Though, if you get into like a tight corner, it's a little more difficult to flick around just because of the sheer weight of the steering wheel, or of the steering. And this one has an aftermarket Momo Prototipo, which is smaller than the original wheel that this would have had, and so that actually adds a little bit of weight to the, you know, to the steering as well. But it's what you would expect from a Ferrari from this era. The handling in this car, it's, you know, mid-engine, obviously, it's very well balanced and nimble. It rolls, definitely. Like, you kind of have to work up a rhythm in the way you drive the car. This definitely has a generous amount of body roll. And then it takes a set, if you're going quickly through a corner, slightly tail out, but very controllable and very stable and composed. And these smaller tires too, they give pretty good feedback. A smaller, kind of fatter sidewall, and they also retain a comfortable ride. Yeah, definitely it rolls and moves around, but easy to drive quick. Coming out of corners, you can just ride the acceleration. You feel it squat down on the rear wheels and tires, and kind of just a smidge of oversteer as you come out of corners. Very nimble, good feedback. Like, you can really tell what's going on with all four tires. There's decent feedback from the front. You can tell if the car is pushing understeering, and then from the back you can tell if the back tires are sliding around and moving around. You can really feel it. And again, I think that that's in large part due to the smaller contact patch, the stock size wheels and tires. And if you're a car guy or a car girl, you have to drive a car with a gated shifter, because it is such a joy to use a car with a gated shifter that's properly set up, because it really makes you think about your driving. And it makes it so interactive and so satisfying just to hear the click and the clack as you go up and down through the gears, and having to really put thought into driving it. It's just such a classic driving experience. It's just absolutely wonderful. And this one, I mean, it's you have to be purposeful with your shifting, but this thing goes in and out of gear very easily. It's pretty light, not as light as a later gated shifter like you would find in a 348 or a 355. They really, those later cars shift really lightly. This definitely takes a little more, a little more effort to move it through the gates, but absolutely terrific. And of course, gotta love the styling. Leonardo Fioravanti designed it, working for Pininfarina, and the 308 is just one of the most iconic cars ever made. It's been obviously made famous because of being in television shows, and it was on Magnum PI. It's been in a lot of movies, Beverly Hills Cop, and this thing is comfortable. It's low, difficult to get in and out of, but once you're in it, it's comfortable on the highway, on the freeway at cruising speeds. You just cruise along. It's got a laid-back driving position. The pedals are offset to the right. The steering wheel is at an interesting angle, but the shifter falls right to hand from the steering wheel, just a short drop away. I mean, it's definitely cozy in here. I'm under 6 feet tall, but I'm like 5'10" or so. It feels very race car-like and very purposeful. It's a great, it's definitely it's got a cockpit-like ambiance to it. It's funny, you're like 10 years ago, you could buy one of these for 25 to 35 grand. And now these they're getting collectible. And I think personally that they could be headed the way of like the Dinos eventually, because I mean, Dinos were cheap for a long time, and now they're very expensive. And I'm not saying that I don't think 308s will ever be worth Dino money for $500,000, but they offer a lot. stunning styling, this high-revving V8, tons of racing heritage, and an incredibly interactive driving experience. And so, to me, even at 70 or 80,000, which is what this car is probably worth, this is a 65,000 mile car, and it's not a show car, it's a driver, which is another reason I like this car so much. But it offers a lot of specialness, I guess, for lack of a better word. Alright guys, well thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like the content, all that yada yada, and we will see you on the next video.